I'm sick, and your existence is making me more sicker. Why do you want me to die? Why? My roommate is a sick girl, quote unquote, sick girl, and it's driving me nuts. My roommate is constantly sick, like always sick. Like she skateboards and does like a sick kickflip. Bro, that's gnarly. I'm trying to be sick as hell too, man. She hasn't gone a week without something going wrong. She has chronic Lyme, so she often needs to take 2-hour plus showers. She needs to take up 75% of the shelving space for her herbs, herbal medicine, teas. I've walked into the apartment before, all the lights off, with her sobbing in a towel on the sofa, claiming that all of her joints feel like they're on fire, and her ashwagandha and turmeric tea isn't helping. Yeah, that's an actual thing that she said. She refuses to take any medicine for it, or will only take like half an Advil. Okay, I understand how it could be frustrating for you, but it seems to be a legitimate problem. It's likely a hell of a lot more frustrating for her to have to live like that. She doesn't want to take traditional medicine. Like, I guess that's her choice, isn't it? I think you need to communicate more clearly about the shelf space, plan around the 2-hour showers, and if all else fails, communication breakdown, then just get out. You know what I mean? I got no sympathy for OP. Honestly, it sounds like he's being sort of a dick, right? She has asthma, so when it's too hot, she needs to stay home. But when it's too cool, she needs to stay home. She can't have strong scents, but she has no problem burning sage and burning the most heavily perfumed candles. Yeah, I think she's just exerting her control in a weird way as far as that goes. This is a really complicated situation. I'm not qualified for any of this. Truth is, maybe both of you are jerks. She has non-diabetic hypoglycemia, so she goes hypo every once in a while. She went hypo 4 times when I first moved in. She'd call me weak as a kitten, begging me to drop everything to come rescue her. I stopped after the 3rd time and told her that I would let her on the street next time if she can't practice self-care. Wow. Wow. God, I'm so torn. Honestly, you might be right, OP. She's just using the medical thing as a bit of leverage to take advantage of you. Well, wouldn't you know it? She hasn't had an episode in ages since then. Oh, but she also needs to eat at 3 a.m. because she'll sleep too long and go hypo in her sleep and... So she needs to eat just before I go to bed. So she's often cooking until 2 to 3 a.m. and then eating, except she'll then sleep until like 1 to 2 p.m. on the weekends or whenever she's quote unquote too sick to go to work. She also claims she needs to eat a ton in order to maintain weight, which is why she cooks so much. And then she throws out about 2/3 of her food every single week. Good God, man. This is a whole mess. I would remove myself from this situation as soon as possible. I don't understand how you've put up with it. I mean, I guess getting half the rent paid is cool, but how is she continuing to pay her half of the rent if she's constantly too sick to go to work? What? She has a formerly torn rotator cuff. It was about 15 years ago, and God forbid you forget about it. She has ovarian... Probably true. It's happened 4 to 5 times since I've known her. She'll beg for me to take her to the ER. A Tylenol, and a couple hours later, she's perky and fine. I have stopped caring when I hear her sobbing. Oh, I'm so torn. I don't want to be on the OP's side, but I have seen this before. It's hard to deny somebody medical assistance, and that's why sometimes people will take advantage of that. It seems like OP's really being cold-hearted, but yeah, it might also be that they've just had enough. This roommate has stepped over the line a few times too many. The list really does just go on, and she makes sure that I know about every problem. And I must care, or I'm a horrible sociopathic roommate. Yeah, you throw around these words. I don't think you know what that actually means. I'm getting some big unfortunate Nookie vibes. Granted, Nookie only rarely made it like a medical issue, but I really do think that this is this roommate's way of gaining control. So to start out, I was like, no, OP, this is horrible. And then the bigger picture developed, and I'm like, oh, okay. I see it for what it is. I see it for what OP sees it for. It might really even be unfortunate. I guess we'll never know. For Halloween, she went from being fine the day before to having the flu. And she needed complete silence. Needed me to vacate the apartment and stay away until she allowed me to return. Nuh-uh. That's not how this works. I pay half the rent. I do what I want. I came back randomly because screw you, and she was conducting video conferences. We got into a shouting match, and I called her out about faking illnesses, and she went nuclear. Full on screaming at me for me to leave. Yeah, so much for having the flu, right? And move out if I can't handle having a roommate with a chronic condition. Isn't that so convenient? It's only chronic when you feel like it. You're cheapening the chronic condition of everybody who actually has a chronic condition. You realize that? What a piece of trash. She was full on screaming at me, claiming that I don't understand what it's like to suffer from a chronic condition. I do have one, as a matter of fact. I just keep it under wraps and try not to bother others with it. She doesn't care. This is ridiculous. Honestly, you should move out, but not because she told you to. Just leave her to rot on her own, honestly. She fakes and over-exaggerates her illnesses so often that I've completely stopped believing her and giving her any sympathy. Incidentally, she then runs to her friends to badmouth me and makes me out to be a horrible person. Well, her friends are just as stupid, ain't they? Birds of a feather and that. Honestly, badmouth me to whoever you want. I'm still gonna be out here living my best life. Oh, by the way, for Halloween, yeah, after that shouting match, she claimed that she was too weak to continue on. So she went to bed while I went to the gym. Too weak to continue on. Oh my God, you're so dramatic. An hour and a half later, I see her in the hallway in full costume and heels, and she just went, "Oh yeah, isn't it a miracle? I feel so much better. Bye. I'll be back around 2 to 3 a.m. Yeah, and that's when you change the locks. Put all her stuff on the sidewalk. I don't care anymore. As for Toadie, she just knocked on my door to let me know how difficult it is for her to breathe right now. We had a full conversation, and she was fine. She's been having these little ahem coughs throughout the day, and even went to yoga. I suggested she get a cup of tea to try and relax, or that she call it early and lay down. See if laying down would perhaps relax her muscles. She started getting angry that I wasn't taking her seriously. I asked her what she'd like me to do. She just walked away and sat back down on the sofa. I went back into my room and started writing this post. My sympathy is totally maxed. She has cried wolf so many times. She actually refers to herself as a sick girl, as if it were a title. I don't believe any of these conditions except her asthma are even real, because she does have an inhaler. Can I have her committed to an asylum? With any luck, I'll get a job soon that's double my current pay, and I will be free of her. Well, that is a wild ride to take, OP. I definitely do think she's a hypochondriac. I don't know if you can have anybody committed for that, or even if you should. But what you should do is find your way out of the situation. Whether that means getting a new job and being able to afford an apartment on your own, or getting a new roommate who isn't as mentally draining. Either way, there has to be a way out. This situation, it's not gonna last. Her only personality trait is she has a bunch of chronic illnesses. Referring to oneself as a sick girl, that seems so weird to me. She's definitely using these illnesses as a way to exert control in her own life. I don't think that it's good. I don't think that it's right, but I also don't think that you can really do anything about it except to remove yourself from the situation. So this was posted years ago. I hope that you have sense, and I hope that eventually this sick girl learns that there's more to life than just pretending to be sick. You can get people to do things that you would like them to do without faking illness.
Do you ever come across a trash fire and you're like, man, I wish there was even more trash so this fire could get bigger? Sometimes dreams do come true. My roommate is a sick girl and has locked me out of the apartment. Yes, in our r/BadRoommates video from 8 months ago, we covered a sick girl very briefly. She wasn't the star of the show in that one. I'll include the link to that video in the description. It's around the 17-minute mark. The real star of that video is the guy that poops in a suitcase. But this has like a whole saga behind it that Lady Angelia dug up for us, so we're gonna dive into that. It might be just one part. It might be a couple more parts because there is a lot to talk about. My advice to OP was that they get up and out of that house. Obviously, that advice wasn't heeded, at least not yet. So I won't yak on too much. We'll get into this thing and see what we've got today. In 1,000 years, I never thought I'd be one of those people to write a continuation of a story, but today was just too much, and I need to vent/share. TLDR, she demanded I not return for the weekend, locked me out of our apartment, and the front desk staff had to let me in. That is insanely embarrassing. But at least you had some front desk staff, I guess. Otherwise, you gotta call the locksmith, convince them that you're not breaking in. It's just a whole thing. 2 days ago, my roommate had her little ahem coughs. She thought she had pneumonia, but eventually settled that it was just her torn rotator cuff that was hurting her lungs. Okay. Yesterday afternoon, my roommate went to the doctor. She apparently called me twice and texted me on my personal phone, but I was on video conferences until 6 p.m. yesterday. She storms in at 6:15 p.m. and the following exchange happens. Her, "You didn't answer my texts or calls." All right, let me just pump the brakes on you right there. You're my goddamn roommate. As long as I'm getting my half of the rent paid, you just stay the fuck out of my way. That's all I need from you. I'm not a great roommate. OP seems to have a better response, and they say, "I've been in video conferences all day. You know this, remember? I told you I had meetings until the end of the day." Roommate, "Really? Well, I may need to go to the ER tomorrow, so you'll need to stay here in case this medicine doesn't work." OP, "Oh, well, I can't. I'm with my boyfriend all day tomorrow." Her, "Oh my god, how can you not care about me? We're friends, and roommates wouldn't do this. You don't take any of my conditions seriously. I could die from asthma." Talk is cheap. No, really, if roommate and OP were friends before this, this has quickly soured that friendship. And for good reason. How could anybody endure this every single day? OP closes and locks the door to the room. I'm not dealing with this. Cue 3 minutes of silence while I ignore her ranting. Roommate through my door, "I don't think you understand how serious my condition is. I may need to go to the ER tomorrow." Okay, get on the bus. Ride your bike. What do you want? OP, "Well, it seems like you're fine enough to yell at me." Roommate, "Because they've had 6 shots of steroids and a nebulizer." Oh, got that roid rage in you, huh? "The doctors say if this doesn't work, I need to go to the ER. You don't take any of my chronic conditions seriously." No. You don't take any of your chronic conditions seriously. You're right that you probably need to go to the ER, but that does not include me in any way. OP says, I don't take you seriously because you have lied and asked me to take you to the ER many times before. Yeah, I just don't take you seriously. Yes, roommate. Fuck you! I never asked to go to the ER. I just tell you that I may need to go. I'm not a hypochondriac. I'm done. I'm moving out in January. Hallelujah. OP says, are you sure? Roommate, yes, I'm done. I need to live with someone who has compassion and has a heart. January, I'm gone. Bye. We can move that date up if you want. I'll help you find a place. Get the hell out of here. I'm sure OP was compassionate. They did have a heart up until a certain point. And now you're just abusing my kindness and I don't have to sit here and take it no more. OP says, okay, give me a date. Her, January. That's not a date. So I left for the gym. I came back and showered and changed and ate some food. Then I left to go hang with the boyfriend and spend the night at his place. I didn't bring a change of clothes. Whoops. I get this gem of a text this morning. If you can stay at your boyfriend's place this weekend, that'd be great. I want to be alone. Thanks. She sent this at 10 a.m. this morning. Naturally, I decided screw that and wanted to change my clothes from the night before and grab some things before spending the rest of the day with the boyfriend. So I go back to my place and listen for coughing. I hear nothing through the door and I listen for about 5 minutes. So I go to unlock the door and she has the U-latch down, so I can't enter. I'm not saying you should light a fire and smoke her out, but the door would get opened up real quick. So I knock on the door for 5 minutes, then I open the door until the U-latch catches and begin giving a loud lecture on literacy skills. No response. So I went down to the front desk and vented/asked for help from the building staff there. I warned them that she wouldn't respond to me, but the moment they asked her to open the door, she claimed, oh, she was just zonked out on like some sleeping pills or whatever. Guess what? The staff and I went up together. I knocked on the door, asked through the U-latch gap for her to open the door. No response. The staff member demands that she opens the door. She leaps up from her bedroom and says, oh, sorry, so groggy, painkillers, and unlatches the door. The staff member just looks at me and whispers, I cannot believe that. Yes, staff member, feel grateful that you don't have to live with this every goddamn day. So I grabbed 2 changes of clothes, my work phone, laptop, charger, and some personal care products, and just ran out of the apartment. And here I am in our building's lobby, typing this out. The building staff is really sympathetic, but I'm in kind of a just get on with the day mood and haven't really processed what the hell is going on. I'm now scared that she's going to begin increasing her vindictive streak as punishment for not taking her seriously and for involving others. I'm not sure what she could do, but I'm beginning to fear that she'll just start making shit up. You mean even more than she already has? Of course I could confront her, but I know what her excuse will be. I was drugged out on extremely strong painkillers. What do you want me to do? I'm sick. What don't you get about that? On the positive, she's Venmoing me now for the cost of the furniture that we purchased together, so maybe she actually is moving out in January. I am an adult. I just want this drama to be over with. Okay, good. We have a date. We're looking at the end game at this point. Of course, she could be lying about all of it. I tend to believe that she is. She's using this whole I'm sick all the time thing as an excuse to not get out of her comfort zone. It's really weird. Even the first time we brushed across this situation, it was weird. But the plot is only thickening up, so let's get into the third part and see what could possibly happen. My roommate is a sick girl and threatened to call the police so she could have the apartment to herself. That's really what this is all about, isn't it? She wants alone time, but alone time in her room isn't good enough. She wants to own the entire place and only pay half the rent. Sorry, not sorry. That's just not how it works. OP says, "Hi, everyone. I've decided to do one final update for Thanksgiving before I get properly smashed. Don't worry, we have a lovely metro system here, which apparently roommate is too good for." A lot happened, and I truly did not want to start one of those Series 1, Series 2 updates, only the major things, and really only give one final update around the end of December or early January when everything is finally over. I'm taking bets, dude. Do you think it's actually going to be over in January? This series goes on for a while, I'm gonna tell you. So, some minor stuff first. I found out that she is smearing my name in the apartment complex. Any person I've met, she's telling her sob story about how I'm a sociopathic, non-emotional robot. Apparently her go-to phrase is, "He's just so mean to me." Bro, I guarantee you the neighbors don't give a shit either. They're just trying to bring their groceries inside. Leave them alone. You want to be miserable by yourself, okay? Talk to your parents, call your grandma. Nobody else need be involved. But OP, trying to be the bigger person here, says I have basically just been ignoring it, aside from a few contacts who I thought were close, but they've gone sorta cold, only giving me, "Oh, really? Oh, really?" if I try to engage in conversation of any sort. So that kinda sucks, but I'm not gonna bother fighting it, as I have an independent circle of friends that she cannot touch. And I mean, if they believed her that easily, then they ain't close friends anyways. The real ones know what type of person I am, alright? Sick girl roommate also left for California this week. She left all her dishes in the sink, hair in the bathroom, a giant box of recycling, and of course all of the trash in the garbage bin. None of this recycling or garbage is mine. Literally, none of it. Why? Well, because last week Monday, she told me to leave the apartment or she would call the police on me. Bro, there's something seriously wrong with her mentals. How did you even last this long? Basically, last weekend, she told me to stay at my boyfriend's. I then got a text from her saying, "I'm sick, and my breathing machine won't work if we're both here, so find somewhere else to work." The breathing machine turns off if there's a second person in the room? That seems like a horrible malfunction. I sent her a text back saying, "No, I'm coming home." And then I marched home and told her that I would be working from home for the next week. Don't you understand, OP? She could suffocate because of the faulty breathing machine. Where's your compassion? That is heavy sarcasm, for the record. Her excuses devolved as follows. "It's because my breathing machine doesn't work if two people are in the apartment." That doesn't sound right at all. Is there, like, not enough air in the apartment? "I'm sick and need absolute silence." Okay, I'll be as quiet as a church mouse. "You're too loud and the walls are thin." Like I said, I'll be as quiet as a sleepy little church mouse. "I just don't like you, and I don't want you near me." Well, get over it. I live here. God, I love that last answer more than any of the other previous ones. The other ones, like, have contrition baked into them. "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll make it better for you. Oh, I'm super sorry, I'll make it better for you." And then the last one, he's like, "Line in the sand. I pay my rent, shut your goddamn mouth." Well, of course, everything just got worse from here. I have her recorded threatening me, threatening to break everything I own, damage the apartment, and be quote unquote a total and complete bitch every second that I'm in the apartment. When I asked her if she was threatening me, she goes, "Yeah, I'm friggin' threatening you." And I got that recorded. Hey, hey, hey. She also threatened to call the police if I didn't leave the apartment. Well, the police would probably be really interested in those recordings, you know? She's a 5'4" granola girl. I'm 6 foot and 200 pounds. I know that even if she's lying through her teeth, the police will side with her and I would be arrested. So I decided that I'd just leave in the morning because she does have that power to fuck up my life. even if it was just a day or two of inconvenience. I don't want to go through that. I don't know, the police might be biased against you to start, but they generally do hear both sides of the story. And if you have all of that recorded and play it back for them, you might be surprised. She might be the one that ends up out of the apartment. And then while she's gone, you just move all her stuff out and change the locks. Boom! Done! That's how I always got rid of terrible roommates, and the police always sided with me. They're like, well, if you moved all your stuff outside, he must really not want you there. One of the myriad benefits of work from home. Oh, don't worry, buddy. You go to work. I'll move all your stuff out while you're gone. So I spent the entire week leaving at 9 a.m. and I was forbidden from coming back until 5 p.m. or else. You're letting yourself be held hostage. If you didn't have the recording, I might be a little bit worried, but you do have the recording, so go ahead. Let her find out. I dare you to do it. She also sent me a text on Monday saying to halt finding a new roommate because she wouldn't decide until December 1st if she was actually moving. Called this one. Then she went to the gym to work out with her personal trainer, you know, during her asthma attack. Well, let's just hope for the worst. On Thursday, she tried to go behind my back and break the lease, pretending that she had my consent to do so. The agent CC'd both of us in response, and I told/called the agent and told her what was going on. My roommate said, "It was merely an inquiry as to our options, so we could best discuss a logical conclusion to our conflict." I pointed out that there is only two options here. 1, someone subleases from you, or 2, someone takes over the lease from you. Then she sent me a text saying, "Option 3, you leave." Well, that is not happening. I may be too sick in January or February to move, and with your robust health, it only makes sense for you to move and not me. Plus, I'm not in a good situation financially. How? You make 120K. I pointed out that she volunteered to leave, and I got, "Well, I'm suffering and currently breathing through a machine." It's a nebulizer. So it makes no sense for me to move. It'll need to be you. I think you have underestimated how awkward I can make this situation for both of us. I will sit in the living room every day until we both die here, together. No more contrition, no more being quiet. This is now war. Anyways, OP clarifies, yeah, it is not a breathing machine. It's a damn nebulizer that she uses a couple times a day, and she got it from Walgreens last week. It's serious hospital equipment, OP. Take this seriously. She didn't even use it the day before she left for vacation. But this is my entire problem. She outright lies or exceedingly over-exaggerates about her illnesses and demands unending sympathy and unquestioning empathy and complete attention for every ache and pain and cough. Ahem. And I'm done. I don't believe any of it. I vaguely recall that she sort of got me in the first post. I was starting to be sympathetic until I realized
you're a phony. Hey, this guy's a great big phony.
OP continues, and now she has her Living the Chronic Life or Living with Pain, a guidebook to living with lifelong pain books littered around the apartment to advertise how sick she is to anyone who comes in, just in case you weren't aware. Yeah, she's not reading these books, absorbing the messages within them. They're just props. I am so mortified by this whole situation, but I remain completely fascinated. So this all led to an in-person argument where I said, "You sent an email saying January 1st. You had me find someone, and I found someone. I have all your texts. I have you recorded saying January 1st 3 times. We both agreed to these terms. You are moving, not me. I even found a place for you to live. Just swap with the guy who wants to move into here. It's even the same room in a mirrored unit. And she countered, well, I don't know who that person is. Plus, I want to live with Sarah now. Sarah is a girl she befriended a couple months ago in the building. Now, they want to live together. Okay, Sarah, good frickin' luck with this one, man. It's not gonna go well, but as long as she's out of my hair, I don't care. I just told her that I am staying, come hell or high water. Also, for background, the guy who wants to move in put his replacement search on hold because my roommate wasn't going to confirm until December 1st whether or not she could move out. Except she flipped that and wants a confirmation now. When I pointed out how erratic she was, she got upset and decided that we both need to move out. If I have to be uncomfortable, everybody's gonna be uncomfortable. Dude, why are you like this? Like, who let you get away with this to the point that you can hardly even function in the real world? Roommate says, well, I don't think it's very fair that one of us stays in the apartment and the other leaves. I think we both need to vacate the apartment, so you'll need to be leaving too. OP says, no, thanks. And then she slips into her rant. Well, that's not very logical. Why would you want to stay in an apartment where someone hates your guts? And I just replied, because you're choosing to be like this. Well, then I guess we should look forward to making each other miserable for the next 8 months. Because I'm staying. There we go. Let's get really petty with this. You will move out one way or the other. At the end of this month, you'll be begging me to end this lease. I'm gonna buy a drum set. I'm gonna join a marching band. I'm gonna buy Marshall Stack speakers and play Fallout 4 through them. You want some peace and quiet? You better buy some earplugs. She didn't talk to me for the rest of the week. She'd just leave her laptop on at full volume in the living room, playing music as she was in the bedroom or the bathroom. She left a mountain of garbage, dishes, and recycling to force me to do work while she left for California on Saturday. You think I'm not gonna put all of this stuff in your bed? Bet. Apparently, one of her smears is to tell people that I'm some kind of misogynist who expects the woman to clean up the boy's mess. Except I hadn't been in the apartment all week by her orders and threats. This is all her crap. See, man, this war's being fought even before OP knew that he was fighting it. Once he starts to fight back, then we'll have a square fight on our hands, and we'll see who comes out on top. OP continues, I know if I left all that garbage in her room, she'd probably burn me in my sleep or stab me, so I'm just gonna clean all of it and send her a text saying, you left the garbage, recycling, and a sink full of dishes for me to clean up. After banning me from the apartment for a week, I am cleaning it because I, personally, don't like leaving an apartment filthy, like some people. Next time you leave the apartment a mess for vacation, I'm putting your mess in your room for you to clean up. You're a grown adult, supposedly. I am not your maid, supposedly. You make a mess, you clean your mess. Remember earlier I asked like who was letting her get away with this to the point that she thinks it's okay to do it? It's OP. OP is the one enabling all of this. If you're literally fearing for your life, then you should be running out of that apartment, but I don't think that you do. This is all sort of a roundabout attempt to play the good guy and also the victim. One person is clearly more at fault than the other in this situation, but I think you're both culpable to some extent. Anyways, OP continues, I bet she'll just say, oh, she was too sick and in too much of a rush to clean up, after staying home for a week and going to yoga and having a personal training session at the gym with cardio. Or, I'm on vacation right now and I choose not to deal with this. Don't bother me again. Thanks. You gonna just let her brush you off like that, bro? Maybe you need to put the fear of God in her. Maybe she's the one that needs to be scared of being burned in her sleep. I'm not saying it's the best way to go, but at least consider it. So yeah, I'm going to the LGBT Center tomorrow for a free legal consultation. I'm not even sure where to go or what to mention. She's just such an abusive, evil person. I'm not sure 20 minutes is even enough to get through the 3 posts that I've made on Reddit. And I have 10 pages of documentation of her utter insanity. Wish me luck, everyone. Edit. Changed. I asked if I was threatening her to the actual I asked if she was threatening me. She threatened me. I asked if she was threatening me, and she said, yeah, I'm threatening you. Cool edit, bro. Update. I spoke with a lawyer yesterday, and they were very blunt. I am in an abusive situation, and I need to get the hell out ASAP. Isn't that what I said back in post 1? Why are we still going through this whole rigmarole, huh? I understand you don't want to move, but sometimes in life, you have to strongly consider which hills are actually worth dying on, you know? Anyways, the lawyers were very clear. She could slam her head into a door, call the police, and they would arrest me. And I'd have to hire a criminal lawyer to fight the charges, etc. Her threat is just too severe to ignore. So more than likely, I'll be finding somewhere else to stay until she leaves the apartment. Well, it sounds like she quote-unquote won, but really, everybody loses in this situation. Let's go ahead, check out one more part, and I suppose I'll leave the other parts for a little bit later. It should make an interesting compilation, to say the least. So let's get into it. My roommate has decided preemptively to not pay January's rent before moving out in February. Oh, okay, we're just kicking the can down the road. I'm actually moving out next Christmas. And also, I don't want to pay rent until then. Hello, all. My roommate is a total nightmare. But this is neither here nor there. We are in NYC. Gay male living with a female roommate. Psychotic hypochondriac female roommate. Or really, those descriptors don't even begin to scratch the surface of what we've seen so far. She recently decided to move out February 1st, but she decided to not pay January's rent. When we moved in July 1st, the company asked us for first month's rent and a deposit. We gave it. We got 1 month free, but they also allowed us to move in July 1st, even though the lease didn't officially start until August 1st, and we are both on that lease. So, July, free, given in the form of a month's credit. August, prepaid. September, accredited month. October, rent continues on as normal until the end of the lease. I'm not very good at adulting, and I'm not sure what all that stuff means, so I'm just gonna smile and nod and be like, yeah, that's how we do things sometimes, I guess. The deal we decided on was to save those 2 months of rent and split it 1/10 to reduce our overall payments. Oh, that's actually kind of big brain time. Anyways, my roommate decided to move out of the apartment February 1st. You can look her story up on BadRoommates, but she's also decided to not pay January's rent, claiming that since she paid in advance for August, it was her right to not have to pay a month. I called her out on that nonsense, and that then switched to, well, we each have a free month of credit, so I'm just taking my month. Are you stupid or something? What an absolute nightmare. I hope r/legal advice has some good advice for this dude. Because the only thing that I can think of is it's time to GTFO. I said it, I've been said it, I'm gonna keep on saying it. Up and out. I pointed out repeatedly that that is not how this works. She would also increase my rent by doing this, but of course, she doesn't care about me in the slightest. She is going to try and fleece me and the apartment's account for as much cash as she possibly can. When I say account, it's the apartment's deposit account, nothing that she can actually withdraw from. The management agency has been made aware, and they are sympathetic to me, but I'm not sure what else I can do to ensure that she pays her share of the rent and doesn't attempt to financially destroy me. No, I cannot afford to leave. I am trapped, and I am at her mercy. Bro, OP, hit me up. I could try and help you get out of this. Maybe GoFundMe, something like that, man. I hate having to see you go through this, and now I realize that you don't actually have any recourse. You're just sitting there and bracing for your own destruction, and it's sad to see, dude. You got into the situation because you wanted to help out a friend, and that friend took advantage and sucked you to the very last drop. And not in the fun way, neither. It's really a horrible situation and quite a cliffhanger to leave it on, but we'll be back in about a week to see how this whole thing wraps up. My roommate is a sick girl and is telling everyone that I'm abusive. Hey, an update. The previous link is in the description. There's a lot that we've unpacked so far, but we ain't done quite yet. So here we go. Let's get this thing wrapped. Hi, all. Hello. I promised a January update, and I'm delivering on it. I'll give an update in February when she moves out, as promised. Except she decided she's not moving out until March. How many months must we endure this torture? She told the guy moving in that she has family medical needs and needs to be home, so moving isn't in the cards for February. Okay, but I'm pretty sure we have a contract.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Contract.
This is going to happen whether you like it or not. Oh, except no, it isn't, because she's just a little sick girl. Why would you want to fight with a little sick girl? God, she's so hateable. If you haven't seen the previous videos, you don't understand my vitriol, but yeah, I'm tapping right back into everything that's happened. And of course, she has not gone home. Anyway, I left for most of December, and it was pure bliss, aside from my grandfather's funeral, RIP, who passed early December. I felt more confident, my IBS calmed down, I wasn't anxious or walking on eggshells constantly. She had spent the first 2 weeks of December threatening to call the police over any perceived slight or infraction. She is crazy, dude. You could do some real jail time, dude. Turn and run, have the apartment, it's fine. I don't care anymore. I value my freedom first and foremost, okay? She also sent out a rather horrifying email to our building staff and management accusing me of emotional abuse, medical abuse, and general neglect. General neglect? What are you, like a starving puppy or something?
Get the out of here.
I don't think I'm beholden to you in any way. Although then again, maybe you are, because remember, she's just a little sick girl. She didn't do nothing. Why you want to be so mean to me? The housing staff even came up to me and told me about it, and I had no idea that email was sent out. Building management stepped in and explained that I'm not responsible for her medical needs. Thank God, some voice of reason. The accusations were all half-truths, not my problem, or complete lies. I think that's a good thing. Just let her spin her wheels so everybody can see her true colors, and you kick back and be like, you see what I have to deal with? You see what I gotta deal with here? Apparently, calling her out on lying about her endless medical issues is gaslighting and emotional abuse. You mean like exactly what you're doing to everybody else? It hurts to look in the mirror, doesn't it? Hiss, boo. Refusing to take her to the ER after she lied about 5 to 7 times about needing to go makes me abusive. Remember, she wanted me to schedule time in case she decided to go to the ER. Yeah, I really don't feel like going to the emergency room today. Few people do. I don't know why you're not seeing a problem with this. She told people that I threatened to leave her dead in the streets. This is from about a year ago, after I called her out on calling me 5 times in a couple months because she went hypo and needed me to come rescue her, or she would totally die. I started refusing and told her I'm not dropping whatever I'm doing to rescue you anymore. If you can't practice self-care, then you are going to die in the streets. She can practice self-care. She just wants to know that she has control over another human being's life. She's a tiny person in her tiny world, and it's really the only kicks that she gets.
You need to find another hobby. At least become a politician and do it to entire nations, right? Oh boy. So, would you believe it? She never went hypo after I went off on her. Oh, but it's because she takes a spoonful of coconut oil every morning now. Either way, I'm definitely the monster. I mean, in her worldview, you are.
You're a monster.
But she's got a very skewed perspective. Oh, and of course my personal favorite accusation is that I molested her personal belongings. What a oddly specific choice of words there. She works in marketing, so you do have to admire the wording. I see exactly what you're doing there, yes. Truthfully, I moved some of her boots that were blocking the closet door. The closet door's handle was gouging the front door because it wouldn't close. You should have done one better, just throwing them in the trash. Like, don't leave your trash out here. Then you really escalate the situation. Then you probably get stabbed in the middle of the night. No, I think what you did is the best thing you could do. Don't listen to me. What am I supposed to be, some sort of advice guy? And how could I forget this? She's upset that I've recorded her. She's phrasing it like I'm recording her personally. I'm not. I'm recording myself when I'm asleep in case she tries something stupid. She's actually upset that I've recorded her lashing out and yelling at me, but why let anyone know that part, right? I would be interested in those videos. I mean, that is some high tier cringe. Anyway, so I come back January 1st after a very wonderful winter vacation, though I had to go to my grandpa's funeral, but it brought family I hadn't seen in ages together, so that was really nice. And when I get back, there's a man sleeping in total darkness on the sofa at 4 p.m. Oh, you're friends with hobos too, huh? I know Ramtide will pull this one sometime. It's a friend of hers, a gay male that we'll call Couch Vampire. It's a great choice of naming, honestly. She invited him to live rent-free for the month of January and part of December. I had no prior say in any of this, of course. Whatever. But he prefers the darkness, so no lights, windows shut all day long. He has no discernible sleep schedule, but if I'm going about my business at, say, 11 a.m., the apartments must be in darkness or I'm the rudest person alive. What is her relationship to the couch vampire? This is all really weird. And no, I'm not gonna stumble around my own living room. You gotta keep human hours like a normal person. Get out there, find a job, hop on your bike. Whatever, man. You just can't be here. That is a hard conversation to have, but it is essentially your only option. The cops will side with you on this one. Be like, that guy's not supposed to be here at all. Anyway, I obliged at the start because having Couch Vampire around tempered my roommate and she didn't want to look bad in front of him. Oh, I thought it tempered her because he was like giving her the good deep dicking, you know? But he is just a couch vampire. He's not a bed vampire. He's got a few level ups to go before he evolves into an incubus. Moving on, I still record myself when I'm alone in my room. Apparently, I left my spare phone with the camera on, not recording, and the guy saw it in my room. My roommate then started screeching that I'm recording pornography of her, and that she'll have me arrested. I'm gay, and I told her I'm recording for my own protection from her, and I shall continue to do so. Yeah, in my own bedroom. If that's the case, what are you doing naked in my bedroom? She's a maniac, dude. She then ends the conversation going, "If I'm ever in any of your videos, I'll go to the police for recording me, and they're already aware of you." Yeah, they're aware of you too. This situation is so unsavable. It must be a really nice apartment for both of them to endure this hostile environment for so long. I'd be out like a flash, man. I don't care for any of this. Anyway, Sick girl then drops that she's decided she's not gonna move until March. Whatever. I know she's gonna drag this out until the lease is up, and I honestly couldn't care. I've been in California at an industry event. My company let me know that I can't charge the internet bill directly to the company credit card, as I had been doing so for 6 months, so I switched it to my personal credit card and did a security check on the system remotely. It brought the Wi-Fi down from 1:30 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's hardly prime time. Ah, but it is prime time, OP. Prime time for weirdos. Yeah, I resemble that statement. OP continues, oh my God. The texts and emails I got, they were raging. Total and complete impotent rage. Honestly, drink it in. Just enjoy that flavor. Couch vampire. What's the new Wi-Fi password? Is this about the $30.03 I owe for the gas bill? No, but you are a week overdue, FYI. Sick girl. You have no right to remove Wi-Fi. This is unacceptable. If you do not turn the Wi-Fi back on by 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will contact management. You've been warned. As head of household, I'm entitled to Wi-Fi. Then she Venmo'd me $7. It is kind of the cherry on top, isn't it? You are entitled to nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. So the gas bill thing. Instead of splitting the bill 3 ways, Sick Girl demanded that it get split 2 ways, and that her and Couch Vampire will split her portion of the bill. So basically, it's like going to a restaurant with 3 people, demanding 2 checks, and then they split their check between them. You don't need to explain the math, OP. It's a terrible deal. You're getting screwed, and you let yourself get screwed, is the truth of it. He's just putting his head down and being like, maybe the abuse will end eventually. No, it won't. You gotta stand up and grab your balls. To clarify, no. The Wi-Fi shutoff wasn't about the gas, although I do like how they paid up quite quickly. I can't believe an hour and a half of no Wi-Fi caused such a barrage of nasty texts. Like I said, they have nothing better to do. Terminally online, that's a big reason that they're like this. Touching grass is very important, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Have you touched grass within the past couple of days? Go get some sunlight. Go get some exercise. Throw a big rock around the field. It seems pointless, but it's not as pointless as whatever the hell this is supposed to be, all right? I ended up speaking to an aunt who has a lot more fire in her belly, and she's advocating for me to stop indulging her. Yeah, big ups to your aunt for real. My aunt pointed out that people who are mentally ill still know right from wrong, and by indulging her, I'm only making my life harder. And since she's a bully, once I stand up for myself, she'll probably either go insane, and then I can call the police on her, or she'll stop. She's never going to stop. She's already insane. You just gotta make the mask slip in front of the police. You got video evidence. Is that not enough to make something happen? I don't know. There is a legal advice post in these last 4, so maybe we'll get a bit more clarification there. And of course, OP's aunt is indeed right. This woman, in quotations, has robbed me of my self-confidence. I'm terrified to do anything in my own apartment lest I incur her wrath. My grandfather's corpse isn't even cold in the ground yet, and she's already just being completely psychotic. And you're allowing it. Why are you rolling over? I think that's a big question you need to ask yourself. I am done being quiet until 2 p.m. when she finally wakes up. I'm done acquiescing to her every time she makes an insane demand on the temperature, or running away every time she gets angry, or being timid when she threatens the police. I need to stand up for myself. I also think that we need a little Wi-Fi cleanse. So I'm gonna kill the Wi-Fi in our apartment for February for her. I pay for it, so I can do whatever I want with it. Our building has high-speed Wi-Fi in the lobby and other common spaces, so not like it's really a hardship. And she has an office.
She's not a remote worker. She just chooses not to go to work, like, ever. Anyway, this concludes our December update. Let's hope January's more peaceful. I doubt it. Me too, OP. Me too. Oh, but my company may give me a significant raise, which might allow me to live by myself somewhere else, so there is light at the end of this anus. There usually is at one end or the other. Unfortunately, it does seem sort of like you're coming out the wrong end, but at least you're finally standing up. They're gonna make your life as much of a living hell as they can in order to petition for the Wi-Fi back, but as long as you can stand strong, they'll go mooch somewhere else. Only like 2 or 3 months to go at least until Sick Girl pushes the deadline out a little further. I swear, OP is gonna have to be the one to run away. I've said this since the beginning. Let's get into the next story and see what happens. My roommate is a sick girl, and she is out of my life. Oh, that's beautiful. You love to hear it. March update, not final, but final bit of current events, I guess. It's been nearly a month and nearly too good to be true. She is gone. She's been gone for weeks. Blessed peace and quiet. Yes, I can finally live my life again. It feels like getting out of jail. That's the only thing I can really compare that to. TLDR, new roommate's awesome. He works 9 to 5. He cleans up after himself. He's also rather quiet and keeps to himself, but we're courteous and mindful of one another. Mostly, we just keep to ourselves. There hasn't been any drama, no medical issues, though we did flee the city for COVID-19. Still paying rent though. Hey, that's the best thing ever. He doesn't leave clothes in the dryer for a week at a time. He doesn't leave piles of dishes in the sink and demand that I clean half of them. It has been bliss. I can't believe I have a roommate who leaves the house. I could actually work from home. That was one of my big stipulations for a roommate too, when I was video editing and doing the YouTube stuff. We got a couple good roommates out of the deal, some not so good, but it is what it is. Roll of the dice. I'm glad you rolled well on this one, OP. OP continues, oh my god, if I had to live with that woman during COVID-19, I'd probably throw myself into the Hudson River. That would be absolute insanity. Anyway, on to the story. She didn't leave with any dignity, of course. No, she's not that kind of person. That's how I knew there was going to be fireworks at the end. It's beautiful. She decided to pull drama up until the day that she had to move out, and even beyond that. Mid-February, we got an email from the management company that we were behind on the rent. I paid my portion of the rent, so that means that she didn't pay hers. What's more, we should have had a positive balance in the rental account because we got 2 months free in rent, and we agreed in writing that we'd each get half of that to split however we'd like. You can't separate an account like that. It's just understood that she had half of it and I had my half. You should have seen something like this coming. She was gonna burn it all to the ground before she left. But don't you worry, OP, she's gonna get her just desserts before life is done. So yes, sick girl just decided to not pay rent for 2 months, and that sucked up my portion of the account. Now, we were still living together, and I basically prepared for a fight. I was out doing remote work when I was dealing with all this, and I also found out that she had quit her job in January. You're really just going nowhere, aren't you? So she pretty much just stole money from me to continue living her nothing life. He didn't say nothing life, but it is a nothing life, god damn it. So I replied back to the management company with pictures of our agreements and pictures of my rental deposits and asked for my roommate to send a copy of her rental deposits so we could just see where everything went wrong. Basically, I not only showed that we agreed to split rent, but that we also agreed to split the rental credit, and that we had an established history of 50-50 payments. Essentially, just showing all of the legal evidence I had in case I had to go to court. I guess that's how we swing our dicks around nowadays. Like, look, I got the receipts. Look at all this paperwork I got, son. It's like, well, I guess you're done. You are cooked. I then decided to drive home. The moment I get home, she goes up to me in this perky, happy voice. Oh my God, OP, can you believe those a-holes at the rental company? They keep saying we owe money. They're so stupid. Yes, aren't they? Some manipulators are really good at manipulating. Some just like brute force it and are really bad. She is definitely one of the latter. OP, realizing that this is all a trap, I put on my best act. I know, right? Well, I'll let you guys sort it out. I'm square on my finances. I think that's probably a pretty smart move. She then starts going, oh man, you're my best friend. I'm so sorry things ever got this bad. I hope we can be best friends after this. Bitch, I want to go no contact 100% with you after this. Can I be real? You barely qualify as human. You are a harpy. I just stood there, shocked, and I realized that this was the most dangerous mode she could be in. This was herself trying to manipulate me into saving her. If I took the peace offering, it would be a month or two of my sanity. If I didn't, the threat that she'd turn into a nightmare again was right there. I mean, let her do it. Nobody can part me and the bag, not some harpy. You shall be slain, foul beast, forsooth. So I feigned a hug. I told her to work things out with the rental company, and I ran out of the apartment. I called the rental company and just hounded them to ensure that she paid her portion and my portion back. She did. Dear God, she did. Uh-oh. She quit her job. Does she have savings for this? She has another Neckbeard scheme, doesn't she? Then we got a new roommate. Oh my God.
Oh no, not again.
Wasn't this spot already reserved for somebody? Temporary subletting? Is this even legal? Who cares? Give me my money. Everything was fine, and yeah, I guess that was that. Except that it wasn't, lol. What, did you think this girl would leave with any dignity? So the new roommate was supposed to move in on the first Saturday of March in the morning, because she legally didn't live there as of that morning, but she still needed to clean some stuff up. She had dirt from potted plants like everywhere, so she strolls into the apartment at 11 a.m. and immediately goes to take a shower for 2 hours and proceeds to sing Florence and the Machine as loudly as she can. What the hell? I think Sick Girl might have left some things out of the agreement to live here. She thinks she still lives here. I bailed out and just went skateboarding. I came back a few hours later and she's sitting on the sofa in her towel. Nothing had been touched in her room. I ask her what's going on, and then I hear the washer going. She stuffed that thing to the brim. Is she aware of what's going on? Is she even sentient? All she did is take a shower and like vegetate on the couch. She qualifies as an NPC, I'm pretty sure. She had friends bring the laundry to her. She has laundry facilities in her new place. She just decided to do laundry here. She had 4 loads. I told her no, absolutely not. Then she accused me of not caring about her having clean bedding because she's allergic to dust mites and needs to clean her bedding 3 times a week. Except I've watched her sleep on a bare mattress for weeks at a time because she's too lazy to actually follow through on the laundry. I think all of us are too lazy to follow through on the laundry at some point in our lives. But I hope things start looking up. It's part of the human experience, but you can't fail to do it 100% of the time. It's ridiculous. So I left the apartment again, and I went to the gym. I came back to the new roommate, moving in. My old roommate made some snide comments about our potato, onion, and garlic shelf being so unseemly. What, you don't like fresh herbs and spices? Hell's wrong with you? She was basically just low-key making bitchy comments the entire time the new roommate was moving in,
including saying, "Oh yeah, OP loves to cook. He spends so much time in the kitchen cooking. We make sure to schedule around him." Okay, weird flex, but okay. "I don't even know how to boil an egg." Well, that's most unfortunate, isn't it? "I only eat fast food." It's not something you should tell people, probably. OP says, "Girl, I'm in there once a week on Sunday to do meal prep, and then at breakfast every day to make sausage and toast, so go fuck yourself. Otherwise, I'm microwaving everything." God, she is infuriating. And this is coming from the girl who'd not only leave the kitchen a disaster zone after using it, but would also take hours to cook all the time, and then get mad when I just needed to make a protein shake, or the measuring spoons when she was making a quinoa avocado salad with turmeric and magnesium powder. Ugh, sounds awful. You people eat like this?
That's nasty.
So she leaves, and that's when I look around and see that the dryer is crammed full of linens and bed sheets, just bursting. And it's just pressing against the glass of the dryer, rotating around, damp, because no air can circulate. If you do this enough times, it'll totally dry it, right? Yeah, either that or light a fire. The clothes dryer stopped at around 5 p.m. Saturday. Does she come and pick up her laundry Saturday night? No. Sunday? No. Monday? No. Tuesday? No. So, I took her damp, mildew-scented laundry and neatly folded it into a damp pile inside of an IKEA bag. You just left it there for 5 days and thought it would be fine? It's gonna smell gross, bro. Now you gotta wash it again. So did she come on Wednesday? Well, not up until 10 p.m. By that point, I put the IKEA bag at our front desk with the attendant and sent her a text that it was at the front desk with the attendant. Okay, but where is it though? With the attendant? Okay, you made that very clear. Thank you. I then get this text while I'm at the gym from her. "Can you confirm my laundry's at the front desk?" "I don't know. How about ask the attendants?" OP, yeah, I put it there this morning with the attendant. Stop saying it. Just go up there and ask for it. Her, "Okay, but can you confirm that it's at the front desk? Please confirm. I need you to confirm. I need my bedding tonight, or I'll not be able to sleep." What did you do for the last 5 nights? What are you talking about? OP, yes, this is the 3rd time I'm telling you this. It is at the front desk. Her, "Thanks." And that was the last that I have heard of her. Oh, thank God. Thank God. If she could just be gone forever, dissolve, dust in the wind, nobody would have to deal with her anymore, I think that would be for the best. But unfortunately, she's going to go afflict somebody else with her presence. It never ends. She has tried to reach out a couple of times for me to check the mail and pretty much seems to expect me to deliver it to her. Lol, no. There you go. Done being used and abused in this beautiful OP. I'm proud of you. I just throw it to the front desk and say, if she asks for it, it's here. She's been forbidden by management to go upstairs to our unit. I love it. Oh, and she refuses to do mail forwarding, so I might need to go and do that for her because I'm so done with her in my life. So she's out of my life, but like a virus, keeps trying to sneak back in. Oh, speaking of viruses, you know she's immunocompromised, so it just makes no sense for us to have direct contact for at least the next 6 months. After all, I'm a high-risk vector for COVID-19, so yeah, let's not even interact for the next 6 months. I'm free! Ooh. Yeah, you did it, OP. Look at you fly! I think the COVID-19 times was like some of the best times. Nobody asked me to go anywhere or do anything. It was beautiful. But now real life is back and it's ticking along, and I'm glad it's ticking along well for you, OP. It's ticking along pretty well for me as well. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed on the video quite yet, then maybe you should do that right now. You can also check out our creepypasta channel, Date and Dies. Interesting stuff going on there. Mine and Wifey's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX. Ooh. We've also got a couple of other projects in the works, but I'm not going to talk about them. At least not until it's time to talk about them. But I will talk about the next story, the update on the update, and we'll get into that right now. New York, New York City. My old roommate is still on the lease, but doesn't live here. Does she have unlimited rights to access? Is she arguing with the management of the building? This isn't r/legal advice, and yeah, I don't think she stands much of a snowball's chance at hell here. Long story short, my old roommate was psychotic. Yes, quite literally. A total evil nightmare. I posted about her here before, and lengthy posts on r/BadRoommates under the "My roommate is a sick girl" stories, just because I was desperate and needed to vent. But she moved out March 1st. It's been bliss. But about 2 weeks ago, she and her flying monkeys have been reaching out to check and see if there's any mail, or what a crazy crisis this is, yeah? The pandemic, I guess, is what he's talking about. And no, I don't want to talk to you about anything, including world events. Good day. We're done interacting. So I block the numbers as they come up, or any mail or packages I get, I mark them as return to sender and have the post carrier take them away. I mean, yeah, you probably should have set up address forwarding, right? I am wondering about her rights to enter the apartment. Here's the situation. Her and I are co-equal signees on the lease. She does not live in the apartment anymore. We have a new roommate who is awesome. She still hasn't updated any of her documents or mailing addresses. She hasn't lived in the apartment for 6 weeks now. Nothing of hers is in the apartment. Any mail she can pick up of her own volition at the front desk. So I guess my question is this. If she shows up at my apartment door and demands to be let in, am I allowed to refuse her entry? Absolutely. What the hell is this? I know she'll assert that she's the leaseholder, but she is not a resident. I know if she finds a loophole, she'll try to use it to weasel back into my life until the end of the lease period. If she is not allowed to enter, and she either tries to force herself in or uses a copy of the key, am I allowed to call the police? Or if she is allowed to enter, but I don't want her to at that time, and she tries to force herself in, can I call the police then? What scares me is that the current roommate is not in the building, and I know her IDs will say that she still lives here. I know this sounds stupid, but I just get this overwhelming sense of dread that she's gonna try and pull something like this. I mean, you have known her long enough, OP. Even in a short series of 8 or 9 posts, I know her well enough to believe that she would do something like this. OP continues, I'm playing out these scenarios in my head, like a bad movie that I can't stop watching. For the record, I am a gay male. We were never in an intimate relationship. She was just a monster who believed that the world needed to understand how sick and fragile she truly was. And if you didn't drop everything to care for her and believe everything she was saying, then you must be destroyed. TLDR, what rights does a co-leaseholder have in NYC who's not the current resident or tenant? And I also am a co-signer on this lease. Thank you for replies. Got some very nice PMs that link me to relevant documents. She is considered a lessee on our building management, but she is also a landlord to our subtenant. She needs to obey the same rules a landlord must, so that's good. Well, this is all getting really convoluted. Why couldn't we just have like a normal interaction, you know? It seems to me like the comment section says she still has rights to access the apartment as a leasee. And I have no doubt that she would do that, but there's the landlord thing that holds it back, and yeah, nobody has a real good answer here. But I suppose what else did you expect from from Reddit? I'm asking a bunch of internet lawyers. No, please consult with a real lawyer in your local district, okay? Thank you so much. But I guess we got one more post. We'll see how it all happened a year later. The 1 year update. So let's get into it. 1 year update. My roommate was a sick girl, and I cut her out. Oh, how could you do that? She was just a sick girl. She didn't do nothing wrong. Come on, why you want to fight with her? She's just a sick girl. I'm so proud of you, OP. Once you finally had enough and truly grabbed your nuts, it was over so fast, wasn't it? Isn't this better than enduring years of pain and abuse? Sure, it's awkward in the moment, but you know where the line is now, don't you? So OP says, hi, y'all. About 1 year ago, I posted a series of posts about the roommate that I was living with at the time. She was a sick girl who over-exaggerated her symptoms for sympathy and control over people's lives. She was the kind of person where, if you didn't keep up to date with her ever-changing illnesses, drop everything and cater to her, regarding her every whim with infinite care and compassion and understanding, well then, you're clearly an abusive psychopath who should have the police routinely called on them. Oh, and she also tried to steal around $4,000 from me. I was saving up that money for an assassin from the internet to come after you. She really can't look in the mirror. She throws around abusive psychopath like she's not one as well. Oldest trick in the book, call them the thing before they can call you the thing, right? I just wanted to give a year after update. Everything is great. All right, cool. Post's over. No, it's not. I live on my own now, which sucks financially, but I'm also living a much more calm, relaxed, and stable life. It's nice to just be me again. Yeah, bless up. Nobody should ever have to endure that. I had some roommates that suck, but that's a living hell. I no longer have to deal with the insane accusations from someone whose mood changes like the wind, or someone who decides that they have a new illness and it's my responsibility as their roommate to wait on them hand and foot. And if I don't, well, the gaslighting, the abuse, the mudslinging, the name-calling, the threats of harm and destruction, the filthy state of the apartment that she'd leave for me to clean up, and the smear campaigns, where she'd tell everyone that I was abusive, trying to steal rent money from me and the deposit, the threats she'd make to call the police because I'd call her out on her abusive behavior, all of that, it's all gone.
Dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind.
I still can't believe that I got through it. The one thing I thank my lucky stars for is that she moved out at the end of February 2020. If she didn't, she and I probably would have been stuck together for all of 2020 quarantine. Yeah, and only one person's coming out of the apartment alive at that point, okay? It's going down. I've never been stuck with a Munchausen-based narcissistic psychopath. She clearly had some kind of mental illness that exacerbated her, in my non-professional opinion, inherent instability and attention-seeking behaviors. And all of that, in an inescapable situation, probably would have been the death of me. Yeah, or her. It wouldn't have gone well. The stars aligned to get her out of your hair before all this happened. She made several attempts to contact me since then. The lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch, right? Always with a friendly, oh my god, I hope you're okay. Things are just so nuts, right? Yeah, well, it takes one to know one. No, just block her, it's fine. I always gray-stoned her, and as of last week, with her last hoovering attempt, I completely blocked her on all social media, all phone accounts, even her flying monkeys. She's been exorcised from my life. The power of Christ compels you. One of the other reasons I wanted to post was that I learned of a very particular type of abuse. I didn't know I was a victim of it, and once I learned what it was, it armed me with the ability to shut this shit down in the future. It is called reactive abuse. Oh, we're doing some learning today, all right. An insidious method of maltreatment, total science today, trace amounts. It's when a victim reacts to the abuse they're experiencing. The victim may scream, toss out insults, or even lash out physically at the abuser. They then retaliate by telling the victim that they are in fact the one who is abusive. Yeah, it's like gaslighting +1 or something like that. I believe the young hip kids call it cry bullying, and it happens so often. And that is exactly what it is. Every time my roommate would come at me with some kind of insane, deranged accusation, I'd either stand my ground or tell her to go screw. And that, telling her to go screw, was abuse beyond measure, in her words. Enough where I clearly am in the wrong, and she believes she was absolved of all wrongdoing. Not that she ever did anything. I was just an uncompassionate dick, in her words, after all. I mean, the reason he took up this mantle is because he was compassionate, at least in some capacity. But you've abused it. You've clearly abused the privilege. You drank up every bit of compassion that this man once had. Hopefully he'll regenerate it at some point, but yeah, he'll probably be a lot more cautious in the future. You've scarred him with your actions for no reason. Please do be aware of this style of abuse because it can come out of nowhere and no one wants to be seen as the abuser. And here's the best advice I can give to anyone in this situation. Standing your ground is never wrong. And remember, the best way to enrage a narcissist while keeping yourself in the clear is just to listen to their bullshit and their baiting and then just smile, nod and say, okay. No sarcasm, no cheekiness to it, just a neutral, okay, with a smile. They'll go insane and you literally give them nothing. Our good buddy Irish Pirate, licensed therapist, has some tips for dealing with a narcissist. He said, a fun way to make them face their own words is to just take the last string of words in their excuse and reflect it back as a question. Narcissist says, you don't understand, I'm under pressure too. And you say, oh, you're under pressure too? Yeah, I have problems here and I just don't have time to explain it. Oh, you don't have time to explain it? It drives them nuts. I want to try it. But that is licensed therapist. I mean, probably not speaking in a professional capacity, but I thought it was a very interesting way to deal with it. And yeah, he's on my brain a little bit because of the Papa Pirate episode yesterday. The finale. And speaking of finales, yeah, now this saga's all wrapped up. OP gets his happy ending. Couldn't be better. You kind of wonder what happened to Couch Vampire. Did he ever fully evolve into an incubus? Nobody knows. I guess we'll have to explore that on another episode of Reddit Internet Mysteries, which isn't a series that we do yet, but maybe it could be. Seems more fitting for Dayton Dies. Whatever. I'm spitballing here. I appreciate you guys coming through. I'd like to thank you for your support. If you watch this over on kick.com/DaytonDoes, then I'm massively appreciative for that. I've sort of abandoned Twitch at this point. But please do follow me there, everywhere else. Support where you're able, Patreon, YouTube memberships, etc., etc. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy. You definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.